You guys, what's Irish and stays out all night?
Irish.
Tim Grifford.
Yeah, Tim Grifford.
Close. It's close. Patio furniture.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Is that supposed to be a St. Patrick's joke, though?
Yeah.
It's Irish stays out all night. That's Irish shit. It really
It makes sense. Nah, that was dumb on my part.
It's also patio. So
No, yeah, right. I got
Your
it.
bio really is coming true.
anything but credible.
Hello. Welcome back to the Anything But Credible podcast, a.k.a. the ABC Pod, a.k.a. the March Madness Pod. I don't know. Listen.
The St. Patrick's Day podcast.
St. Patty's slash March Madness Pod. Welcome back. This is episode 83. Hope everybody out there had a good week. The reason that it's March Madness slash Patty's Day Pod is, well, we're recording. Today is Friday, the day before Patty's Day here in St. Louis.
March 16th.
And thank you for the date there, Griff. And the NCAA March Madness tournament started as of yesterday. I guess technically the playing games were Tuesday a couple days ago. So we're about 3 to 4 days in, depending if you count those games or not. So things are getting crazy around here. As you heard, Griff is back. Welcome back, Griff.
I'm here.
Let's just go around the table right now. To my left, Griff, what's up?
What's up, guys?
You feeling a little bit better?
I'm great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like $1 million. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's
Good.
Day, so I'm on cloud 9.
We missed you last week.
Yeah, I was hacking up along. You guys wouldn't have made for good audio.
Some nice lung butter. That's always fun.
To my right, you just heard him, Killer K. What's up, Keith?
What's crapping?
My name is Dukes. We appreciate you guys checking in with us, man. We got good stuff this week. Theory of the week. I feel like a good amount of weekly weirdness and some good conversations to start before we get into both of those things. First off, we have some catching up to do. Number one, we just caught up with Griff, who wasn't here last week. He's back with us. We have called him previously on the podcast the True Irishman. This is basically his holiday. He's wearing the classic. I have actually referred to this hat multiple times throughout the history of this podcast. His True Irishman hat. I don't even know what you call that thing. He's wearing it right now. Griff, what kind of hat is that? What do you call that?
I don't know. It's a hat.
Is it a beret?
I don't think it's a beret.
It's not
though.
a beret. I don't think it's.
You look like an old school, early 1900s like Irish paperboy.
It's a hat.
Does that make sense?
Is that
accurate or not?
My grandma went to Ireland and she bought this hat for me.
So that is legit from Ireland.
It has a thing that says "Made in Ireland."
Oh,
my God!
shit.
Can't get more legitimate, guys.
And you are legit.
Yeah, he probably funded terrorism with that hat.
Ooh.
Ireland forever.
Me being myself, being not majority but a large amount Irish. I'm super excited too. Keith, what are you Irish? If at all,
I don't know.
You don't?
I'm a mutt, man.
I know.
I think I'm German Irish.
I mean, we are all basically mutt-ish, but
yeah. Well, my grandma's last name when she, not she personally, but I don't know what generation, how far it goes back. My aunt Kathy has it all documented, but her last name was actually O'More, and when her family came, it changed to Moore.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm somewhat Irish. I don't know the percentage, but yeah.
For sure. Okay, well that's cool. Listen, by the time this episode comes out, Patty's Day will obviously be over, so we'll move on. But hopefully, hearing this now, we hope that everyone out there had a good time, great time / safe Patty's Day. Let's move on. The other thing that we're catching up with is Keith, because we talked about it last week. He is fresh off of and back from the Deer Convention, way out in Paris, Missouri. Wait, was it in Paris? Where?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Monroe City.
Monroe City.
Yeah.
Shout out. So Keith,
Monroe City, baby.
Number one, man. How are you? How are you? Number two, how was the Deer Convention? Anything that you can? Now I know that the rule is what happens at the Deer Convention stays at the Deer Convention.
Yeah.
Right? But is there any info that you can?
It's a boys' weekend.
It goes down. It's at the Deer Convention.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of deer talk?
Oh,
just so much deer talk. Probably.
There was so much deer talk, so much good food.
Oh
man, I gained like I want to say 6-7 pounds after that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot, dude. There was a lot of bush flowing.
You just eating a lot of deer or what?
No.
Deer meat?
Well, yeah, we had some Steve, the host of every deer
Yeah,
convention.
shout out. Yeah.
He brought down some deer sausages, like some deer brats. Those were awesome. Had
Okay.
those Saturday for lunch.
Huh.
Other than that, I got I got offered to ride a bull,
Whoa.
and
A real one?
yes, a real bull. Yeah,
Did you?
I said yes.
Oh, it didn't happen.
It did not.
Oh,
happen.
so like a future, like a rain check.
I'm supposed to Snapchat this guy whenever I'm back in Monroe.
Let us know.
And
'Cause,
I need to see a live. Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to Periscope that or something.
well, that needs to be a punishment or something, man.
Our listeners.
Fuck, I'm not getting on a bull.
No,
I'd get on.
this
a
is
bull.
not Jackass. This has not evolved that far
Yeah,
yet.
there's no way I'm getting
Yeah.
on a
But
bull.
our
No way.
listeners do deserve to watch you ride a bull.
No, I'd ride a bull once.
Well, I'm glad you're in for it.
YOLO, bro.
I've ridden
YOLO.
a mechanical bull
Yes.
once or twice.
Who hasn't, man?
I thought I was special. No,
I
No,
don't
that's
think
first
I've
day
ever.
shit, bro.
I don't think I ever have actually.
lame ass over here.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm too big for those things, man. I just look stupid no matter how. Even if I,
Everybody looks stupid.
Yeah,
No,
I was
that's
gonna
not-
say
that's not true.
everybody.
It's,
Well,
it's like half the point at least.
I've-
It's more than
yeah.
half the point.
yeah,
I've seen
it's
some-
the whole point.
I've seen some people kill it at the local PBR.
Some of those damn PBR girls stand up on that shit
Yeah,
and
I know.
ride it like a surfboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed by their abilities.
for sure.
Tim just milks them.
The bulls? Damn.
Tim's a bull
Well,
milker.
we need to be clear here.
But other than that, no, it was a good weekend. Man, I was worn out.
Did anything crazy happen? Did you win anything cool? Don't they have a big like auction or something?
Oh yeah, huge auction. The only person that won was Joe. Shout out to Flo Helly.
Oh, the squash correspondent.
Yeah, squash
Flo Helly.
correspondent Flo Helly.
Okay.
He won a bow case in the silent auction.
Oh,
Nobody else bid on it.
A bow case? Does he have a bow?
Yeah,
he was the only one that.
yeah, he was.
Well, I guess if he done the bid on it.
Yeah, if you don't have one, you're like, that's for my future bow.
In my head, I was thinking a raffle, not an auction. You know.
It was he won
I
that
caught
at
up.
the silent auction, but they have a live auction and everything else. Actually got to meet an auctioneer.
How was that?
Is that like the most exciting moment of your life?
No. It was the most. It was cool. I mean, he was ripping shots with us after the deer convention was
So
over.
they're real people just like you and me.
He was talking really fast though.
Does he
Give me a
do-
shot, one shot.
No way.
No. I'm
Does he?
fucking around.
Does he?
Like,
Did he talk fast?
Enough of that, man. Let us out.
Yeah. No. Did he talk fast though? Like after,
No.
off of the mic?
No, he
No.
didn't talk fast off the mic. He's
That's
Average
probably like,
homeboy.
that's probably like
Okay.
you, doing your job when you get home. It's like,
yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't like
It'd
that.
be a weird job to be an auctioneer though. That'd be weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be.
And like, oh, how do you get into that? It's a weird thing to get into.
I think there's a school. There's
No,
a
I
school
think
in
there,
Missouri.
There
like-
might be an auctioneer school.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've
Got-
heard of this.
In order to talk that certain way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think he went there, or I don't know. But he was a nice guy. Met him at like the only bar in Monroe City, the Dugout. It's where we go after every deer
It's the
convention.
only place to go, right?
Yeah. Well, they got. Have you seen those buckets that fit like? It's almost like a cake pan, like for a bun cake. I don't know.
I'm,
They-
I'm struggling to follow.
Yes,
it.
I mean, I know what
Fit
you're
like
talking
a
about.
Beer and their own little slots. It's nice. I'll have to
Okay.
pull up a picture and show you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm always impressed every year. It's not just an aluminum bucket they flop on the table.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Not
it's
like the
neat.
South City Hoosiers over here, huh?
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, other than that, deer
Yeah.
convention
Successful?
successful.
Good.
Successful weekend.
Good.
Glad
Well,
to hear it.
Glad you had a good time, man.
Thanks.
So shout out
Maybe
to
you guys should go.
Nah.
maybe,
Okay, that's
maybe,
fine.
maybe sometime in the future. But shout out to Monroe City.
It's a hard no from me.
Shout out to Monroe City. I mean, I would definitely go. I feel like I would have definitely a good time no matter what. But shout out to Monroe
Fish out of
City
water.
and shout out to Paris, Missouri, man, for the deer convention. Also, we should note that so today is the 16th. A couple days ago was the 14th, which means a special day for us local St. Louisans. That is 314 Day. That 314 is, if you don't know, the area code for St. Louis City.
The rest of the dumb world thinks it's Pi Day. You guys are dumb.
It's
Yeah.
not Pi Day. It's St. Louis Day.
Yeah.
And Keith had a good tweet from our Twitter account stating that only to cap things off, the NBA did us rightfully so
Did
by
us a
having
solid, man.
the primetime game was Brad Beal versus Jason Tatum, two St. Louis natives dueling off, and it actually was an intense game too.
Dude, I cut it at the ass end. It was double overtime game. I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Jay Tatum versus Brad Beal.
Right.
Brad Beal got the dub, but
Yeah, weird how it worked like that, but it was cool. Definitely cool. So
Yeah,
shout
it
out
was
to
badass.
anyone who celebrated 3-on-4 Day / all of our St. Louis audience. Shout out to you guys. Now, guys, Griff, before I say something, I mean, is anything new with you other than becoming healing from the sickness? Did you do the blanket trick to get better?
I mean, I wrapped myself up in a pretty big blanket, but
Did it
I
work? You
just
sweat
found
it out?
myself very miserable and
a
hot.
single blanket.
It's a very big blanket, but yes. Yeah,
Were you
I
sweating?
don't have like a ton of blankets. I have a limited amount of
weird.
blankets.
Only psychopaths have one blanket.
I have like
Yeah.
two. I have two.
Gotta have more than one blanket.
I have 2 comforters. But what was I going to say? I do have some notes, guys, from last weekend. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You got to bring up some stuff.
Okay, what's up, Griff? Speak to us, man.
Our percentage is about to come down.
Oh, wait, notes on our podcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So
without you.
Yeah,
Just-
whatever.
we're about to get ripped on.
Fauché, my man, saw no problem drinking while throwing axes.
I see no problem
But
with it.
no, I'm not saying there is a problem with it. But then you talked about curling and drinking, and he said that'd be dangerous on ice. I said, where are we drawing the line here?
Okay. All right, good point.
All right.
Okay.
Which I should note too is it is official. After that Saturday, Fauché, who I talked to after that Saturday, had such a great time that he is now officially enrolled in a curling league.
Nice.
So, shout out to Fauché.
Nice.
What else you got, Griff?
Oak Island sucks. That's a single point.
I mean, it really does
wow.
suck, though. It does, though.
And Keith,
Ooh.
at one point
here
on
we
the
go.
episode, you literally described a scavenger hunt and tried to claim it. Tried to claim it as an original idea.
What if?
I was blown away. I'm sure I was not the only one listening.
Like, did this
That was
dumbass,
blown away.
this dumbass just come up with the idea for a scavenger
He
hunt?
did. He did.
Oh, but it'd be more like a geocache thing.
It
But
was
I
a
guess it's still
scavenger hunt.
It's definitely still a
Yeah,
thing, too.
yeah,
Geocaching's still like a real thing, too.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's very funny.
Yeah, fuck it.
That's it, boys.
It's my
just
idea.
work on these things, would you?
My idea.
Okay. Well, as always, Griff, we appreciate the feedback. Okay, guys. So for me personally, like I said, it's March Madness. The best time of the year right now. We got the tournament going. We got the Blues hockey. They're still fighting for that playoff spot. The NBA is getting down to the wire as far as the season ending soon. It's all around sports chaos / love. So what happened was over the last week, I think I mentioned it on the last episode. I ended up going to in town this year. Before March Madness, that each college basketball conference has their conference tournament. I went and saw the championship game for the Missouri Valley, which Loyola Chicago won, who has won their first game in the March Madness. So shout out to them. They're moving on to the second round. That was cool to see. And then for the first year ever, the SEC tournament was here in St. Louis. And so I was like, well, I got to check this out. This is a big conference. Mizzou has only been there for, I think, maybe 4 to 5 years-ish. Not that long.
Mm.
So I went on I hit the Wednesday and Thursday of the first round, and I have some feedback from the SEC. For the SEC commissioner, I don't know his name, but man, okay. Number one, guys,
Yeah.
the SEC does not sell any form of alcohol at their conference tournament.
I don't think any college event does.
They definitely do. Missouri Valley, shout out to Missouri Valley. They definitely do, 100%.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, maybe not like NCAA things, I guess. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Missouri
Well,
Valley's NCAA.
Yeah, but I mean, like, not. I don't know. I don't know. What
Power
I mean.
six?
Officially sanctioned.
I think it's just.
I don't know.
I don't know the rules, but I feel like it was just an SEC thing.
Dumb. Yeah, it's dumb.
It is dumb. So that was interesting. The other
Yeah.
thing was that
So you had to stay sober?
I had to drink like a soda, man. It
Oh.
was, yeah. At one of the games, I drank a water. It just didn't feel right. You know.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even
Flask.
so to add on to this
Flask
too
time.
Yeah.
is man, I will give it to SEC on this though because what they did do, which I thought was cool, and I don't know if this is a normal college basketball thing, but every stoppage they actually had for the whole tournament, they had a live DJ up at the top of the rafters who was cutting / spinning in between not only timeouts but the each whistle stoppage. So it was all hip hop. It was cool. It was mixed in with other genres obviously, but he was blending, he was mixing, he was spinning. It was cool. That's not a normal thing. Maybe like for the Missouri Valley they play like pre-recorded clips. You're just like whatever. At NBA games even, it's just
Yeah.
usually like a pre-recorded like clap chant or something like that. But he was actually up there spinning, so that was cool. But the weird thing was one of the main sponsors for the SEC tournament was Sunkist. Okay, we're all aware of it.
Yeah.
We all know Sunkist soda.
Yes, I know what
soda.
Sunkist is.
First of all, here's my question
delicious.
to you fellas. I'd like to start off by saying this. When was the last time that you not only had a Sunkist but an orange soda in general? When
Not
did
that
you
long.
buy an orange soda?
Oh man.
It can't be that long ago.
Yeah, I bet you it's got to be a long time. It
Actually,
has-
No, it hasn't been that long because
I remember.
because we have
lying.
You'll remember too.
You're lying.
we have Fitz's stuff at my work, so we like Fitz's orange soda, the grape, and all that stuff. And
Okay.
occasionally I'll grab an orange soda.
okay, all right. So like
And
we
it's really
talking
good.
like within a month, maybe longer than
It's probably been a couple months that I got in the orange.
a couple months.
But-
Keith, what about you, man?
Last time I got an orange soda, it was at Lumiere Breakfast Buffet.
I do
After,
remember that.
my buddy's wedding, we all woke up and I bashed a plate of macaroni and cheese with an orange soda.
This was your breakfast. This was your breakfast.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, the breakfast was at like 11.
It's a very orange breakfast. you know?
Yeah. Well-
Mac and cheese and
point.
orange soda. If you would have thrown up, it would have been super orange.
Oh, that would have been great.
I felt like I wanted to.
So
Yeah,
both
I
of
bet.
you,
Yeah.
both
It's a
of
long
you,
night.
really only a few months. It's shorter than I thought. For me, it's years. I honestly can't remember the
Get
last
on
time I
your
got
game,
orange
dude.
soda.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But
Pretty good.
the,
Loser.
they're like, dudes, get to the point of this. The point of it is every time they had, so they have multiple sponsors. So if they did a, when they have the TV timeouts, they do some kind of, they quiz somebody in the audience, or they have people shooting out for, some of these people do like, you shoot a layup, free throw, 3-pointer, half court in the shot clock, 35 seconds, you win 10 grand or something.
Yeah.
Any contest that they had or trivia thing that they won, the winner would literally give a 12-pack of Sunkist soda.
Did you tweet
That's
about
it?
this?
I did.
Yeah.
And did
I
they
remember
do-
seeing this.
A diet one at one point.
The second
Sorry,
night
I'm
they were.
sorry, I'm stepping on your
no,
story.
it's good. No, you're right, and it blew my mind because I was like, well, that might be the shittiest skip I've ever. if they handed me a 12-pack of Sunkist, I'd be like, just take this shit back, bro.
I'd
But-
take the Sunkist, but the diet
Yeah.
Sunkist, I'd be like,
The second night, man, they were handing out cases
Bastards.
of diet, almost like they ran out of regular Sunkist, and they were handing out, and it wasn't just like to one person.
Bro,
my,
it's because people like you don't buy Sunkist,
Was
man.
my
They're
first-
struggling.
well, my first thought was maybe that
Sunkist was
person.
greasing somebody's palms on this one.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
like,
My first
push our
thought was
product out.
maybe that person asked, like, I only do diet soda, and I was like, okay, but the whole night it was all diet soda, and these people, they're doing these quizzes that are literally like, even if you get them wrong, they're gonna give you this case of soda.
You're at a
So-
game filled with athletes.
Maybe they
They
came,
drink diet soda, man.
Dude.
the NCAA, the SEC came to St. Louis, and at first they're like, okay, we're going to do normal Sunkist. And then they looked about and they're like, wow, these people have weight problems. Like a lot of them are very large, these Midwesterners.
Wow.
And then
Shots fired.
at my own city.
This is
I love this city. I
This
love
is
it.
Tim, not me and Nick.
Oh, I also, Griff, have news for you.
Listen,
Is that
Fatzos.
Whoa.
I also have news for you, Griff.
Diet
works out
Sunkist.
for a month.
Diet Sunkist for all of you from now on.
Oh, Griff, I have news. I don't mean to rain on your parade, man, but the far minority of people there were the Midwesterners. It was traveling teams from the South, that were
yeah.
up here. So
That's not any better.
you just called everyone from the South fat. So good for you, Griff.
I will stand by that.
Well,
they have
mean-
they have very good food. I don't blame them.
St. Louis's soda sponsors, when the Rams were still here, it was RC Cola.
Ugh.
RC's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not.
No one
Great.
buys it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Why is that our sponsor?
I don't know.
It
Along with Sunkist.
It used to be one of the top colas in the country.
Neat.
A long,
70 years ago.
long time ago.
So
Yeah.
the other thing too was I was amazed by how hardcore, and this is a known thing if you know basketball, like the Kentucky Wildcat fan base. They were by far and large the most fan base there, even
Yeah.
in the games where the whole days that they weren't playing.
They're
it
not
was
that
insane.
far though. That's probably
No, I
it's
mean, I'm just saying,
3-4 hours.
and they're
away.
also a powerhouse. They ended up winning the tournament, so I mean, they know what they're doing.
Screw
But
Kentucky.
it was funny. They were freaking out about just the food. I heard so many people talking like, "Fuck, these people eating up here!" Like it's just like, what? Where are we? Like there was not the food that they were.
Pappy's
Right.
was popping because of it.
I'm sure.
So
So all this though, guys, I was thinking about this, man. What I have a thought project for you guys. You ready for this? I want to get your thoughts. On
You're
this.
making me think.
I mean, not really, but
Okay.
I just want to hear what you guys. Because
hit
I
me
mean-
with it.
so I was thinking, all these college basketball games going on. Like I said, NBA is going hard right now. I was thinking the other day, what if throughout our society, our culture, the whole history of
Taking deep.
us hold on, hear me, of us humans, instead of conflict or any kind of conflict, I should say, resulting in like any kind of verbal or physical altercations.
Yeah.
What if, in order to solve any kind of problem or confrontation that you have, it resulted in a game of basketball?
It wouldn't work.
That sounds dumb.
Why? Hold on, hear me out. It would force everyone would be somewhat in shape, because if you got like you would have to be training for basketball, because like if you're like trying to fight me at a bar or whatever, and we go to basketball, like I got to be able to handle my own.
I'd just stab you.
When it comes to,
I'm saying, if that, I'm saying you got
that's
to imagine
exactly
this.
it. Thank you. You couldn't put it in simpler, better terms, but if it's
No,
really
I'm
a
saying
conflict
I'm saying
of
if
you're
that
getting
is
this or
no, hold on, I phrased this wrong. Like if I'm saying if fighting and hurting each other was literally we didn't know that was a thing. Like we didn't know that we could just shoot or stab each other.
I can't imagine that world.
The only thing that's what I'm at. It's a thought piece. That's what I'm asking.
I know.
Just to think
my
about
brain can't even go there.
I'm just thinking like, what I was thinking about is what if, instead of even knowing that we could hurt each other, that the way that we solve things was like, okay, 1-on-1, me and you, Keith. Like, fuck you, 1-on-1 right now.
I believe they call those duels.
Everyone would be everyone would be in shape. Everyone would, their skills, basketball would be the best.
Hold on, though. If everyone had to fight to the death every time they got into a conflict, everyone would be in even better shape.
That's true.
Not necessarily. Not if you have a wet. Are you talking like a fist fight?
Yeah.
Or like,
why did why did you just revert back to the violence? The whole beginning of
I'm a human being. This is what we do.
God, that's off.
But,
I know, but it's accurate.
I mean, I guess the world would be a better place, Nick.
You guys don't not even playing or not even
be a better place.
Not even like entertaining the thought.
It's very,
because I'm not good at basketball.
Because
so I'd lose.
I wouldn't be good. Yeah,
I'm not saying right now.
I'm better off as it is.
I'm saying like if you grew up, if your whole life you grew up in knowing, like your dad raised you and said, son, anytime somebody get you, like you got to play basketball because that's what it is.
It's funny that
a ball would be life.
Some people dream of like communist utopias. Some people dream of libertarian utopias. Nick Dugan dreams of basketball utopias.
I just feel like everyone would watch what they, like the weight gain, or like you were talking about obesity, like your diets, your overall fitness, your skills. It would, your hand and eye coordination, your feet, your everything, your movement. It would all, everything would, I feel like be for the better. It would just be like, and
my ankles would be more paper than they already are.
I do have to.
Not if you played since you were 2 and that was what you did.
This society is definitely rougher on guys my size than it is on people your size. That's all I got to say about it.
That's not a fair excuse anymore, though, because we got guys like, Steph Curry and young guys out there learning how.
Are they the rule or are they the exception to the rule?
Now they are the rule. Big guys are the exception to centers are the exception to basketball.
We're talking strictly NBA.
But like
we're not talking.
The guys that you're saying aren't big
being.
compared to the general population are still monstrous. Like Rick and Sam Kirsting would be short in the NBA, right? 6'5".
But we're not.
Those are some of the tallest people that we know.
Right, but here's the thing, though, is like if you grew up your whole life and the only thing that you knew growing up was that basketball was the way to solve things, your skill set would be to play against guys like that.
But that would be true for everybody. So everybody's skill set would go up, and eventually my height would still matter because their skill set's better, and I'm
that's
so
what I was
smaller
saying.
than
Is
them.
that exactly? You're actually hitting my point. Is that it would elevate not only the game of basketball to a new level, but it would elevate all of your thinking process, your coordination.
But what
your
if you're in the
sets?
right and you lose?
Then you just gotta get better.
It's the same as like
that's what I'm saying.
how war works today. If you're in the right and you lose, you're in the wrong. Sorry.
That's why you got to be better. You just got to be better. You know what I mean?
That's a strange way to think.
Might makes right, and ball rules all.
Ball is life, man.
Ball is life.
Now, I get it that you guys are not huge basketball people and playing growing up. I get it, but I mean, all I'm saying is just to think about the thought. Just think about it. I mean, it's. Listen, I know obviously how long have humans been on Earth? I mean,
it's not even the humans; it's just animals. Yeah. Everything. Yeah, we weren't evolved to play basketball.
No, those guys in the NBA are freaks.
Yeah, but I'm not even. I don't know if you guys quite grasp what I'm saying.
I think I get it.
Or you I feel like you get what I'm saying, but you're not.
We're close-minded fucks.
Yeah, you're just not entertaining.
We're close-minded fucks. Yeah.
I live in my own reality.
It's a brutal, dark place.
I'm thinking of how abstract thought pieces will work from now on. If you guys don't, if you
I can
live
do
in
abstract thought
reality.
pieces,
Yeah.
but only in violent horrible reality.
Hmm. Okay.
Abstract thoughts where ball is life. I can't do it. I don't know enough about ball.
I feel like this should be a movie.
Not enough about
I
ball
feel
at
like
all.
we should make a movie about it.
A movie?
You can make an animated movie.
It'd be amazing.
Ooh, he just got dunked on. I'm guessing you
Why
haven't
is
seen
little-
this video.
Why is little Timmy so poor and have no friends? Can't ball.
Dude refuses to work on his game. Fuck that
Can't
guy.
ball.
Fuck that guy. That's what I would say.
Why doesn't
Oh,
Timmy have any
okay.
shoes? Can't ball.
You also here's the other thing too. It would from a growing point too, from a young age, it would teach everyone teamwork. So not only just 1-on-1, but if you're talking about teams, we're talking about collaboration. We're talking about teamwork. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about
So if you want to jump somebody, it's like 3v1 in a ball game.
No, I mean, it would only be an even
wasn't,
match.
That wasn't a fair
It would-
ball.
it would-
That wasn't fair ball at all.
I would.
Having back in the
And
day,
then
man.
like that a whole new meaning to cheap shot.
Wow.
And that dude was
I'm not
just
laughing at
traveling
that.
the whole
I'm
time.
not laughing at that.
Yeah, that
I'm not laughing at that.
I mean,
No. No.
All right.
Tim's
Griff's
ending it.
done. Yeah, Griff's done. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, we can move on to the.
I got something.
Okay,
man.
what do you got?
I was watching Food Network the other day. It was America. What?
I have this idea that we all played hockey to decide the world's problems.
Stop.
I'm sorry, Nick.
No, I mean, you guys like. I'm going deeper than you. Like you guys are thinking about it on a surface level. I'm way deeper than that. So I mean, I would be for it.
I hear you.
I'd be for it.
Okay. I was watching Food Network the other day, and it was America's Worst Cooks or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like the 5th round, like nothing important was happening or anything. They were making pizzas, and this lady fucked up when putting it into the oven.
How'd you do that?
Yeah. How do you? Did she drop it?
I don't know. Yeah, it was something happened when like the dough started slipping through the
Ew.
Oh my
what do you
God.
call it? And
The grates or whatever.
She didn't
Yeah.
make that right.
she just started fucking crying. Dude, I'm tired of grown ass people crying on TV when it's meaningless.
Well, if
Like
you're,
it
for
means
sure.
nothing.
And if you're gonna cry, you better.
Why are you crying?
You better be getting
Well-
a pan underneath that pizza while crying and sobbing away
Yeah.
and figuring some shit
Yeah,
out.
she like just dropped everything. Started fucking
You better
crying.
use those tears as marinade. Like, okay, let's get some use out of this shit.
Jesus. Now hold on though, real quick.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that show is usually for celebrities for charity, right? So there is
No. These were
wasn't
average
there
homeboys.
isn't there? There's some kind of money on the line though, right? There's always some kind of
Yeah,
prize.
it was 25 grand.
Okay, that's a lot. I don't know if I'd cry, but I definitely wouldn't be
But
happy about.
stopping in the middle of what you're doing to cry
And not like
is self-defeating.
It took her a commercial break. Like when it went to commercial break, she was like crying through everything on the floor, and she had just like given up. And I was like, oh God. And then I can't remember exact other scenarios, but just grown ass people crying for no reason.
Yeah,
It just pisses me off. Like, what are you doing?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. But
Like, what is that all about?
what about though? So I actually just had this conversation last night. Or when it comes to this, I'm going back to the basketball, not the thought piece, but
Okay.
the actual tournament. When some of these teams, these seniors, when you see them lose in the shaking hands, they're legit bawling
Oh,
emotional.
I get that.
Why? Why is
I
that
get
different?
that.
Why is that different than a cooking show?
Because they train their entire life for that.
Okay, so you're just
Also-
talking about this specific show. You're not talking about like Chopped or like real chefs that like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
they're not
I'm
just giving up in the game.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight to the end.
Yeah.
To try
They're
to
not
come back.
throwing fucking tantrums.
Yeah.
These guys just wasted, or not wasted, but just spent a bunch of energy out there, 40 minutes playing just do or die basketball. This lady couldn't even put a fucking pizza in the oven. She started crying.
Okay. Well, shout out to whoever
I'm
that
just
is.
saying.
On what was that show called?
Worst cooks in America.
Okay, that's also a thing. You're on a show called Worst Cooks. You can't cry if you're on a show that is notifying everyone that you're really bad. You can't cry because you're extra bad.
Your mere presence on the show is a degradation to you as a person.
Like you already
So-
know you're.
Well,
gonna be
this
bad.
this lady's occupation was balloon twister, balloon art maker.
Wow.
Hey, man, I'm not going to judge her on that. She might make some dope shit you don't know.
I would expect her to make.
She can't make a pizza.
Get her some balloons. Hold on.
She should have done some cool balloon animals in dough, like in the form of the pizza dough. That would have been sick.
Been
like
dope.
A pizza giraffe.
Yeah.
She fucked up.
Yeah, she
Right,
done
she
fucked up.
Yeah.
She did. I think they might be different though. Making pizza animals and balloons.
Nah, same thing, man.
Same
Fill them up,
Same
dude. You
thing.
fill it up with air. And
you see those
helium
bubbles in
and-
the pizza?
Yeah.
There's this balloonish.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing.
Sure.
Griff, what about you, man? You got
Science.
anything
Calzone.
before we move on to the theory?
Don't. No.
Okay. Well, let's get on to that. Before we do that, let's say what up to our friends over at the Offended Podcast. Go search PWP Nation, find them, and tell them that the ABC Pod sent you. They'll tell you what to do, and then right when that is finished, we'll get right back into the theory of the week. Griff is bringing in some good stuff this week. We'll be back in 1 second.
Tricky, come on. You know Mr. Brightside is the best killer song.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's... Oh, crap. Dude, we're live. We're live.
What?
We're live. Water. Hey, it's Tricky and Stoutsy from the Offended Podcast, produced by PWP Nation.
We're basically the Seinfeld of podcast.
And just because we are produced by a professional wrestling site doesn't mean we are a professional wrestling show. Recorded in the glorious Cockpit Studios, we are actually a show about anything, and sometimes just friends drinking and discussing life, pop culture, and sports, but with no filter.
Anything goes on Offended, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts under the PWP Nation Network, along with other great PWP Nation produced shows.
And if you like our show, head on over to prowrestlingtees.com/offended-podcast to buy our shirt. Support us, eh?
And you can follow Offended on Instagram at OffendedPod, and us on Twitter. You can follow Tricky at Trick1042, and myself, Stoutsy, at J_Stout09.
And thank you for listening. By the way, Jim, all these things I've done, it's the best killer song.
Erroneous! On all accounts.
Okay, welcome back. We are back to it is time for the theory of the week. Griff, who was gone last week, is back and coming in hot with a theory this week. Griff, what do you have for us, man?
Strap in, my people. It's about to get real.
Okay, keep seatbelt. Nice.
I just
I have a
parked
lot.
it. I tied
You
it.
just tied it?
I tied
You don't
it.
clip it?
I
You
tied
tie
it
it?
off.
It might take
All right.
a minute. Might take a minute.
Ooh,
Even though
But,
I made a clip sound, I actually tied off.
All right.
Nice.
So, Keith's Dan Brown-esque theory last week got my brain turning.
Oh, Keith.
It reminded me of it.
Inspiring.
Reminded me of a theory I used to be slightly obsessed with. Now, if this theory is true, it rewrites the history books,
Oh.
and it fundamentally changes the understanding of the origins of human civilization.
Wow.
This is some real shit.
No
motherfucker.
big deal.
Oh,
I mean, this is literally
shit.
nothing here.
Break it down.
Guys, what's the deal with the fucking Sphinx?
I have no idea, dude.
Yes.
Wait, with
the
what?
Sphinx.
The
that
Sphinx in
that
Egypt?
mystical lion man sitting in the Egyptian sands.
Yeah.
Dude, supposedly that was created like...
Whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
sorry.
Don't step on
He-
all
I'm
my
out. I'm
shit.
out.
He's
I'm
getting
out.
excited. He's
Give me
getting
the
excited.
mute button. Give me the mute button.
So here's the official story about the Sphinx, or the widely accepted one. It is a 240-foot long, 66-foot tall
Damn.
lion man.
Accurate.
That is the technical term.
Extremely credible.
It is the oldest monumental sculpture in Egypt, and is commonly believed to have been built by the Old Kingdom during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2,500 years before the Common Era.
The homie Kafra.
So,
The homie.
notice I said commonly believed.
Ooh.
Because not everyone's buying this theory.
I
This
don't-
time
Including
on-
Keith.
Yeah, I don't
Some
buy
people
it at
think it's
all.
older, like a lot older.
Lots.
Many
That's
geologists argue the official story just doesn't add up. So many geologists argue and have created this thing called the Sphinx water erosion theory that posits that the Sphinx, which features extensive erosion, that can only be caused by prolonged rainfall.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you guys have been to Egypt, know about it.
I actually have.
It's not
Why are
exactly.
you lying?
No, this is one of my pictures.
Okay. Griff, I have not been to Egypt, so please carry on.
Well, it's not exactly Seattle, if you will. You know,
I've heard. That's what. So
Not-
I hear.
not a lot of rain.
Are you sure?
It's not. If Tom Hanks wasn't sleepless in Giza.
I feel like it's.
know?
I feel like it's always always wet there. I feel like
yeah. There's no sand or anything.
Well, you guys are
besides the beaches.
maybe
I
a
hate to,
little bit of
guys. Bad
sunshine.
news. You're wrong.
Oh,
Damn.
It's
thinking of something
it's bone dry, guys. It's been that way for a pretty long time. since a time that far predates that 2500 BC mark. In fact, the last time Egypt had enough rainfall to adequately explain this erosion was a few thousand years before that mark, sometime around 6000 BCE. 6,000 BCE. That's a big gap, guys. So that's 3,500 years.
Some would say
before.
huge.
That's bigger than the difference between the ancient Egyptians and us today.
Okay, now that's insane.
To put it in a
thinking
little
about,
bit
thinking
of
about it like that,
context.
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So, if this is true, raises some very serious questions.
Yes, it does.
Human beings were supposed to be hunter-gatherer, cavemen-ish type people at this point.
Yeah.
No agricultural society, no societies really. Small tribal groups of hunter-gatherers. The big civilizations that popped up, the earliest ones we know of, like Mesopotamia, was thousands of years after this. Thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to point out. Hold on, I lost my place. Okay, and it's important to point out that a civilization doesn't start off. Your first thing you build, it's not something like the Sphinx.
Not a lion man.
No,
It'd probably be houses.
it's probably very small. You don't learn how to do stonework like that and have the technology to build something like that off the bat. The civilization has probably existed for hundreds, thousands of years before the point that this was built.
Yep. Especially,
So-
what'd you say, 60 foot tall, you said?
It's 6 foot tall,
Yeah.
200 feet
Big.
long. So
Especially something
It's real,
gigantic.
really big.
Tell me more.
Okay, I'm coming with it. Okay. So who the hell were
Big
these?
and you're coming with it. Let's do this.
All right. So who the hell were these people that built these things? So are the Egyptian kingdoms just that much older than we thought? Maybe there's some crazy people out there. Listen, Joe Rogan will talk about this shit that say like the Egyptian, they'll date them to like 30,000 BC, which is pretty insane. And they also, in the same records that claim that, they also have pharaohs that lived for like 1,000 years. So like it's
Like Imhotep.
shit like that. Yeah, it's like it's like the Bible with Noah and shit like that, where it's like people were living for unrealistic amounts of time.
Yeah, right. But shout out to Imhotep, though. That was a nice reference.
But so
Same.
there's a theory that is just ancient Egypt just predates what they thought by that much.
A long time.
But there's another theory though.
Lots of years.
Dinosaurs?
The Egyptians didn't necessarily build, or the modern Egyptians, as we think, not modern, ancient Egyptians,
I was gonna say.
as we think of them, didn't build the Sphinx at all.
Oh, okay.
They discovered it, much like the people have throughout history. Actually discovered it buried up to its head in sand multiple times, and then it's been restored. So that the Egyptians stumbled upon this thing sometime around 3000, something like that, before they'd built anything, buried up to its head in sand, and looked at it and were like, "The fuck is this thing?"
Yeah.
Just like we are.
Huh.
So the Egyptians certainly would have revered the Sphinx, and they built monuments and temples and things around it.
Oh no.
But you can date a lot of those things, and there are inscriptions and dates on those things. Not so for the Sphinx. The earliest thing you have is something around the time they think it was built, where they're actually talking about restoring it at about 2,500 years BCE.
And what is that?
Oh.
Wait, what is that? That's being restored?
The Sphinx.
Sphinx.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they were working on it, get sand away from it,
Damn.
stuff like that. It was built by some group far older than the Egyptians themselves. And yeah, they wouldn't be able to match that type of building again for millennium, at least, to build things like the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah.
So, pretty crazy. So who were these motherfuckers?
Plainly put.
Let me know, Tim.
Other than the Sphinx, there's next to no evidence for these people. The history of these people has been swallowed up, perhaps by the sea.
Oh.
That's right. Motherfucking Atlantis.
Atlantis.
So cultures around the world tell of advanced civilization that was swallowed by the sea, completely wiped out by some cataclysm. And ancient historians such as Plato place the timing of this cataclysm right around the time our modern geologist friends say the Sphinx would be from.
Oh.
So the theory goes something like this.
Break it down for us.
Around 6,500 years ago, an advanced city-state known as Atlantis was the only true civilization on Earth. A cataclysm, likely massive earthquake and tsunami, wiped out the city and almost the entirety of its population.
Oh, that's sad.
Some refugees managed to escape. Some people who probably were not there managed to get
Or
in
on
boats. Yeah, managed, so small percentage of the population escapes this horrible disaster.
They could have just
They
been
fled.
preppers, doom preppers.
Preppers. Yeah,
They fled, and where they wound up landing in the Nile Valley of the.
They landed in denial.
They landed in the fertile valley of the fertile valley of the Nile, which was at the time a rainy and very temperate place.
Oh,
And over time, the society, which is very limited in numbers, either died out because there wouldn't be many of them,
Yeah.
or they lost their technical knowledge, and the society that eventually got set back, eventually, thousands of years later, did flourish into the Egyptian society. So they did have a head start with some technology, lost some of it. That's also how how the Egyptians later were able to do things
okay.
that the rest of the world was nowhere fucking close to being able to do.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but why did they build it?
Yeah, that's
I don't
the
know.
question.
I don't know. But Edgar Casey would have something to say about this. Anybody know about Edgar Casey?
No.
All
What's
right.
I
up,
just
Edgar?
had tea with him.
Shout out to Edgar.
I'm touching a lot of places with this series. But
I love it.
Edgar
Keep
Casey
it going, man.
he's a psychic of sorts, although I'm sure he wouldn't have called himself that. He's American in the 1930s. Yeah, as you know me, I'm extremely skeptical.
Sounds like a snake oil.
This is the
Snake oil
this is
sales.
the only
Yeah.
go look into him. This is the only psychic that makes me be like,
Oh,
Not even the Long Island medium.
yeah, no, she's good.
we talking
She's
like?
good.
Are we talking like Nostradamus? Nostradamus like?
Nostradamus doesn't make me do that.
No,
at
this
all.
guy does.
This guy does. yeah.
Oh.
Nostradamus he's writing in very vagueness. Edgar Casey writes specifics
Okay.
specifics
Oh.
that have come true.
Oh,
Um,
shout out to Edgar.
so here's what Edgar Casey.
Old Eddie.
That's what Edgar Casey had to say about the thing. He'd do these things called readings, where he could access information. Is essentially what he
He had a third eye.
It's really weird. You'd have to look.
Or was he
into it.
doing
It's not a
tarot
third eye.
cards?
No, he was
Cards,
not.
for
He was
sure.
not doing tarot cards.
Okay.
Him
He
and
would
Miss
enter the
Cleo.
astral plane and be able to access a
Yeah, bro. Third eye, dude.
Griff, I gotta.
be able to access a record,
I
a
gotta
library
say-
of records.
I gotta say something, man. From the history of this podcast, this sounds like something that is completely opposite of your alley.
Yep.
What you just described right there. Just saying.
And this guy, go look into him though. He's interesting. I'm not saying I believe it, but
All right.
he makes
All
me be like,
Okay. All right, continue on.
Anyway, one of Casey's readings basically lays out the argument that ancient Egypt was founded by Atlanteans. In this reading, he states that under the paw of the Sphinx is an Atlantean Hall of Records. Now, this claim could not be in any way substantiated at the time. This is in like 1930s. No one's gonna let you go excavate underneath the Sphinx. You're gonna
right.
fuck some shit up.
You just completely destroyed.
But guess what? We have ground penetrating radar and stuff like that today.
Right.
Oh.
It's been checked. Exactly where he said there would be a hall of records. There's a huge cavity directly under the right paw of the Sphinx.
Bro,
Really?
I'm a big fan of breaking this shit open.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And
no.
just seeing what's in it.
No, dude.
I don't give a fuck.
So
Can't.
We
no,
can't-
you can't do it with the Sphinx.
They
dude.
won't-
It's
Yeah, you
so
can.
old, dude.
I don't give a fuck.
they won't
You
let
can
you.
break that thing open, cast a new paw. Yeah,
Obviously, the government of Egypt and Egyptologists that controlled this type of thing would agree with Nick, and
Yeah.
will not let you break
it's
into
because you're
this.
soft.
No, man. It's
You're soft.
So we will never know. Thoughts?
I'm breaking that thing open.
wow. I have lots of thoughts. Number one.
Yeah.
You know that in your right mind, something that they think, like if it was something like the pyramids where they're like whatever, but we're talking about something that they think is way older than that. Like you can't just like bust that open and then like rebuild
Can't
it.
even just bust open the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just like you're acting like you can just break it down and then like, oh, we'll just build a new one.
I would take a jackhammer to that, and I would bust it open, and then I don't know how they made the Sphinx, but
But Keith,
No,
last week you brought up
It's carved out of the bedrock, actually. I think.
okay, I'd bring in some new bedrock, match it up.
you're confusing me, man, because
Yeah,
last
alright.
week you brought in a theory that was similar to this, where it was just complete mystery, but we don't really know, and you were all about it. But this week, the mystery, you're not into the mystery this week.
No, I'm into it.
But he believes.
Oh, you just want.
he
I
believes
just-
the
I just
only
wanna know
way to
what's in
solve
there.
the only way to solve the mystery would be to get into this cavity.
So he's going full treasure hunter mode.
It could
right
just
now.
be it could just be a natural
Oh, yeah.
a natural cavity. It's I think it's a limestone that bedrock's made out of, which is very porous, and I think big cavities get open up in that shit. So
I can't wait for it to break.
So you're saying it could just be natural.
Yes, of course.
See, I think I'm gonna travel to Egypt and like just chisel on it every day.
No one will be watching or anything.
No, not at all.
No, you just like get in there and just
No,
hang out for a
I'd
little
like jailhouse shank it.
Oh,
Like have it in my hand.
yeah.
All right, you're
You're
gonna
just
get a little rock hammer. Yeah.
And you just act like you're
Yeah, it's a chisel,
casually.
bro.
Well, Shawshank, it was a little rock hammer.
Sure, I'm gonna do.
Yeah, he's right though.
Well, I'm
But
gonna
you're just-
jailhouse shank this.
You're
thing.
just saying like you're just like act like you're casually leaning up on it and just like while you're doing that. Just,
yeah.
Well, it's a good idea. If you do that, let me know. I'd like to. I'd like to see that.
You
Yeah.
probably won't see me ever.
No,
Yeah,
you won't.
yeah.
You'll literally be forever
Egypt's
gone.
a sketchy place these days, too. Huh?
But I hope it's Atlantis, dude.
Well, let me tell you.
I
this.
really hope
Here's
it's
my
me
thoughts,
too.
Griff. Here's my thoughts.
I used to be really obsessed with Atlantis.
I was
shit.
just gonna say, I think this is an interesting theory for us three because we shit on a lot of things and we make fun of a lot of things on this podcast. But I think we're all in the same boat here, saying is that when it comes to Atlantis and the multiple theories of Atlantis, I think it's safe to say that we are all three pretty solidly in on Atlantis in a form, in one form of
I'm a
another.
doubter, but it just makes I'm curious.
Oh, so you're not in at all.
I'm skeptical on everything.
I know,
You
but-
know
I think
that.
Atlantis-
But Atlantis is something like it
I love it. I love the idea of
yeah,
it.
right.
I'm still skeptical of it.
Keith, where are you at on Atlantis as a whole? Not necessarily as being where the Egyptians,
No, I get the question.
just
I get
an
the
overall.
question.
where you
Yeah,
at on it?
I'm kind of like Tim. I'm a little skeptical on it, but I think it was actually real at some point on this earth.
Yeah.
There was a city named Atlantis with very, very advanced technology. I don't know what time or date they were around or anything like that, but I believe there was a city.
Okay.
Somewhere.
I'm
Yeah,
with you. I'm with
don't
you.
know.
I'm with you. I don't know where or how. That's why I really find this
Well,
theory
there's-
interesting. But I am definitely a firm believer in Atlantis in some form.
There are
Yeah.
good places. Okay, with the Atlantis thing,
Somewhere in the Mediterranean.
there's good
I think.
evidence that there were like the Greek island of Minoa. The Minoans maybe were the Atlanteans.
Yes.
Which it was a small advance for the time, not as advanced as Atlantis gets blown out to be,
Yes.
but advanced culture for the time that was wiped out by some natural disaster. But I mean, there's plenty of small things like places that could fit that. Really
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Now, were they the great societies where that created the rest of civilization on the earth, like some people like to paint them out to be? Probably not. Because a lot of people like to say that the world was seeded by people who escaped Atlantis, and that's why you find pyramids on every continent, and you find similar artwork
Yeah.
and stuff because all of the civilizations descended from one great civilization, and that's like an Atlantean theory, which I find that less than likely, but I love it.
yeah.
it's-
Right.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's like a
definitely
super
fun.
romantic idea, but
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
yeah.
Now, I think one thing to bring up the question is we talked about, and I think everyone, one of the well-known things with the Sphinx is, by the way, the first time that you said it, I thought you said, "What's up with the sinks?" Like a kitchen sink. That's what threw me off. But
They're coming for us. them sinks.
what's up with these sinks? The Sphinx though is the water damage, right? And so the first thought that pops in my head is, it's fun to connect it to Atlantis being like the whole like underwater / tsunami Atlantis thing, or is it just like you were saying where that part of the world at way back in the day was actually just like a normal place that had vegetation / rain /
Yeah.
or like that
And it harbored a super advanced society that didn't exist anywhere else. It's still, if that's the case, it still completely rewrites the history books.
Well, so
Yeah.
here's my question though. My question, what I like diving into is what you just noted is the super advanced technologies portion of this. Okay, that's where I kind of get into it. Is like, where do you guys stand on that? I mean, because I'll be the first one to jump in here, and I am not like a super alien guy, but I do when it comes to these kind of things, and it comes to like these structures around the world that we're talking about, like how to things that Ancient Aliens, the TV show, covers.
Yeah.
Now they go into super
Watch the
detailed things.
The
but
first season makes a decent argument.
Yeah.
Anything past that,
I
is
do
nuts.
believe in some kind of
No.
alien technology
It's not
to
good.
help
I
these
don't-
things, though.
I was super into the first season of that, and then like I watched like the first episode of the second season, and they started saying angels must be aliens and jetpacks, and then I was like, oh, these people are nuts, aren't they? Like, oh yeah, these people are fucking.
well, you
nuts.
gotta be a little bit nutty.
They interpreted everything through art.
Yes,
Like
Like it's so.
Well, hold on. Let's.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to bring in the show. I was just.
Okay, we could go on a tangent about this.
Yeah.
Fuck that show.
I was literally just referencing it because they've talked about it. But what I'm saying is the reason I reference it is because this is one of the few things with the pyramids and I forget the names of the other places around the world, but this is something I do believe, not necessarily in aliens, but some kind of alien technology. Like it was. I don't necessarily believe that it was like these people in this advanced civilization for that time. Like I feel like something else came into them or was given something. Like, I don't believe that they just
theory that I always liked that I don't believe, but I think it works a lot better than ancient aliens. I'd call it like the ancient human theory, that human civilization or human beings as we are in our present form have existed for at least like 200,000 years, and we've only sprung into civilization as we know it, human beings as you would recognize them, in 10,000, 12,000 years. That at some point in those 200,000 years, human civilization rose and fell at different periods. So like maybe isolated pockets or around the world, human civilization rose and either we killed ourselves basically. And the remnants of those people were left to recreate. And so in the direct aftermath, you have isolated pockets of highly advanced civilizations because there's some people left who still know how to do some of that shit. Yeah. And slowly those abilities die off. And then you go back from the hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I like that. I dig that.
I like that too. I dig that theory.
Because, a lot of people, when they think of Atlantis and they think of this advanced technology, they're thinking like crazy shit, like one of the, almost magical, like things that we would think of like magical things today.
These are things we think of as magical or like nuclear fusion, things like that.
Things that would almost have to be brought or given from some other kind of alien.
Not necessarily. Well, a human civilization that was able to develop for longer, so like a human civilization that went uninterrupted and undestroyed for 25,000 years, twice as long as we've gone, would be doing some pretty crazy shit, I would think.
So you're talking vampires?
No, not individual humans, but civilizations that technological progress was allowed to go unimpeded for 25,000 years would probably have some shit that sounds like magic to us right now.
Yeah, and so you're saying that like in that way they would have, because my first question is like, wouldn't they be building cities and stuff like we did? But you're saying like over that time it would basically somehow like it would just disintegrate, like go away.
Knowledge is lost all the time. The Romans forgot how to build the aqueducts. The Egyptians forgot how to build the pyramids.
But I mean, physical evidence as far as like we have these cities and buildings.
Over time, nature swallows shit. Yeah. So if we're talking about something that happened over 100,000 years ago, there'd be scarce evidence for it, especially if they blew themselves up in like a nuclear holocaust. There are weird places on the world that have odd levels of radiation.
I like that, Griff. I like that, Griff.
That is weird. Yeah.
I find that super interesting. Keith, you were about to say something.
It's also probably not true though.
Yeah. What did this guy enter? His
I think like an astral projection of himself.
Yeah, I thought there was like a specific
like he entered like an ethereal plane where he could enter into like a universal hall of records where he could basically access information.
So unlimited knowledge, pretty much.
Kind of, but he could only do it in certain like states, and if he tried to do it to benefit himself or people in like a specific way, so like he'd go into these readings and he wouldn't remember them. His wife would have to like sit there and write them down, and people would like bet on them, and people made fortunes, and he would like be incapacitated and like be bleeding out his nose and like migraine so bad that like he couldn't function when things like that happened. So like that's why his wife started sitting in on them, so people couldn't do that, so that people couldn't like benefit monetarily and stuff from his readings.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe these people, these so-called Atlanteans, were able to enter this.
Are projecting. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I think he believes that. He always believed that he wasn't special about this. He always said like anybody can do this. It's just you
just access that part of your brain, a certain part of your brain. Man. Hey,
but you have to. I think you have to be part of his argument. You have to be able to leave behind like your selfish human desire. So any bit of you that's going to want to go into this and figure some shit out, and go read a sports book 20 years in the future type thing. Yeah. It would keep you out. That desire.
I just want aliens, man.
Well, see, that's what I think is interesting, because we talk about these things and right off the bat, we think like these kind of mind powers or accessing this part, and today we think like it's all bullshit. It's crazy. But we also don't. There's a lot of the brain power and stuff that we have. You can't access it. We
that
don't
whole
know. So
bullshit about when we use 10% of our brain is absolutely not true, though.
it's not saying 10%, but
Okay.
we know that we're not using 100 though.
Yeah, I think we use most of it actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, I recently
I just used the
I
brain.
recently heard something. I think we do
Good
use
way to do it.
Yeah.
I think we do use most of our brain actually, but just not consciously. A lot of shit is being done subconsciously.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Makes
I
sense.
see that. Okay. Well, listen, guys. Griff, start us off here. Let's go around and do what we do. Percentages, whatnot. What?
It's tough. So
What are we
How
talking
we
about?
gauging
If it is the if
Okay,
the
so
Sphinx was Atlantis
here's how we'll do it.
ish?
We'll do one. Do we think the Sphinx is as old as these geologists say? Do we think it's actually dates that way?
Well, I mean, is
Okay.
anyone hold on right off the bat? Is anyone going to say that it's sooner than that? Because I feel like we all think that it's super old, right? Like older
I
than
think-
what they.
I think it's older than.
Yeah, I don't know if
than
it's
what it's.
as
like,
old as that.
Yeah.
I think
but-
we're all can agree that we think that it's older.
Yeah, I don't know if it totally dates to what these geologists said. That's a really fucking long time ago.
Yeah.
And every archaeologist and stuff still totally does not accept this theory at
Yeah.
all. And there have been other reasons put forward for how
Yeah.
this rainfall
Right.
shit could have happened.
This conversation could go on for a long
Dude,
time.
I could do this for hours.
Right.
But I'll say I think that it's considerably older. I think that's probably true. I'll give that 90%. That
Okay.
it's considerably older than currently dated. I'm not going to say it's as old as that. Do I think... So what would the second part be?
If it's remnants of Atlantis.
It's
slash-
remnants of Atlantis or refugees from
Yeah,
some advanced society.
Yes.
7%.
So
You
you're
believe-
saying that it was just what, like the Egyptians?
So the Nile Valley is an incredibly fertile area that it's easy for an agricultural society to pop up earlier than it would anywhere else, and that just people, hunter-gatherers, started agriculture there earlier and built some cool shit.
Because he's in denial.
Once again,
You're welcome.
That's the second
That's
time.
second time I
Griff
had
must not
to.
have caught the first
don't
one.
think I did.
No, obviously not. Keith, where you at on this?
I had one more thing. Do you think there's anything in the Sphinx?
Oh, in that chamber, right?
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah. Probably not. Like I said before, it's limestone, I think, and it's like caves forming limestone.
Okay. Yeah. Now he's going natural.
But
All
you gotta,
natural.
yeah.
What about you? Where you at?
Okay. 100% something's in that Sphinx.
Ooh, Keith loves the treasure.
We
hunt.
just-
Beneath the Sphinx, Keith. It's beneath the right ball.
No,
we
are you-
just-
you're saying
You
inside?
think it's like a pinata?
That'd be a cool. That'd be
Beneath,
the first ever
inside?
pinata.
That's why they built it. It's a giant pinata.
Just like really old candies in there.
Beneath, inside, I don't care. We just haven't found the entrance in yet.
Yeah, I like it. I dig
Okay.
it.
100% on that. 100% it's older than what mainstream
2,500 years
thought
ago.
is. Yeah.
Or 2,500 years BC.
Yeah. And I got to give it 80%. It was left over from an advanced civilization.
Okay, not necessarily Atlantis though.
Not necessarily Atlantis.
Okay.
But
just
I
an
do
advanced
think we're playing
civilization.
semantics with that a little bit because like what people call Atlantis could be this advanced civilization. Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
The stories of Atlantis could be inspired by
80% it's from Atlantis.
Okay.
Okay,
What we're calling Atlantis for the sake
what
of
we're
this
calling
podcast.
Atlantis.
Keith, I'm pretty close in line with you, man. I 100% that it's older than 2500 BC. You know, I'm not much of a treasure hunter guy, but I don't necessarily know treasure, but I do feel like that if they were to dig up like directly underneath it or on it, I feel like there would be some interesting passageways that just lead to something. I don't know what that is, but something. So I'm a firm believer that 100% on that. And the Atlantis / remnants of an advanced technology theory. Like I said before, it's one of the few things that I actually believe was a thing, was Atlantis. No matter where it was is the question, or you know,
Yeah,
what
precisely
exactly that
what it
describes
was. Yeah.
But I would love to think that it was remnants or people, or you know, I don't know how you want to say, like, I'm using the wrong words here, but exile / refuge, like people what's the right term for
refugees.
Is that a right term? I don't think
Yeah,
that's the right term.
if they were fleeing their
I don't
city,
know.
yeah, they'd be
like,
refugees.
Maybe
yeah.
just stranded people that were just like you said were like on ships or something. They just weren't there.
That'd be refugees.
Probably
okay.
surfboards, bro.
Yeah, they were surfing for sure. Like
How Hawaii
jetpack
started.
So I'm going, Keith. I'm going a little bit higher than you. 93% on that.
Oh, okay.
I really dig it. Griff. I love the thought because the Sphinx is a big thing. A lot of people talk about. Like we said, we could sit here and talk for hours on the different. There's a million different ways and avenues to go on this. But I actually for some reason the Atlantis thing never really crossed my mind. But I'm really digging it now that you say that. So I'm all in, guys. I don't know.
Well, hey, mad props to this today. The research I did. Some of this was from years ago, but some of this was like I was doing some quick research. But original shouts where I originally learned this shit. Charlton Heston, first of all, was narrating it.
Whoa, really? Okay.
I'm not a giant fan of, but it's called Mystery of the Sphinx. It's a documentary. Check it out if you want like 2 hours of this shit.
All right, I might get into that. Okay.
I'm in.
Well, listen, what do you guys think out there? Let us know. You can hit us up, anythingbutcredible.com, or send us an email directly, anythingbutcredible@gmail.com. And of course, you can hit us up on all the social media platforms. Where are you guys at on this? Well, let's get into right now. Before we get out of here, we'll skip across some weekly weirdness real quick. I want to start off with a super quick hit because we talked about in the beginning of the show with the college basketball tournament, the NCAA tournament, and one of the big controversial conversations that will happen from now until forever on, I feel like, is the argument as if these college athletes should be paid or not. But I think I will not get into that, but I thought was interesting. I came across this article from CBS Sports that is saying that this year, on just the March Madness tournament alone, an estimated $10 billion with a B dollars will be spent in gambling on these games. Either of you,
Just make it legal.
I don't know.
How much did you just?
$10 billion. I don't know you guys to be much of gamblers, especially in the sports/basketball realm. Will either of you guys be gambling on this tournament? No, Keith.
No. Well, I guess I already have.
I guess in the form of brackets, though. That counts, I guess, right?
I filled out a bracket and I entered that
Okay.
do or die type deal.
Right. So I am one of these guys, right? I'm not a heavy sports gambler. I don't throw big money, but I do gamble. I will be gambling on just about every game. I have multiple brackets, multiple different pools. So I am one of these people. It's interesting. The other interesting stat is that approximately $300 million is expected to be wagered legally out of $10 billion. So that's interesting if you think about it. That's nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that really is nothing.
Somebody like me who I don't go to Vegas to gamble because I'm in St. Louis. So I'm not admitting.
He's breaking the law.
Let's just say that.
You're such a badass.
Oh my God.
The other interesting thing is that the American Gaming Association estimates that gamblers legally wager at least $150 billion annually on sports in general. So just this one, I think it's like 2.5 weeks, 10 billion, 2.5 weeks. Interesting. Okay, keep that in mind.
Realize it.
Okay. Anybody else? Does anybody else have some weirdness? Keith, what do you got?
A woman got high on meth, ripped her own eyes out, said it was a sacrifice to God.
Don't tell me stories like that. Just don't. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
How the fuck do you rip your own eyes out, dude?
Clamps.
Well, when you're high on meth, man, I think
This is supposedly when she was coming down off of it. I don't know, dude. She had like a full story in.
Did God like it? Was he happy with his gift?
You're like, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted.
I made those. You didn't have to do that.
I mean, you didn't have to.
She had like a full
But
story
thanks,
in
I guess.
Cosmopolitan about this.
Cool.
Thanks, Cindy, I guess.
It's about the thoughts.
I gripped each eyeball, twisted and pulled until each eye popped out of the socket.
Well,
That's
good for
not
her. Now
cool.
she's blind forever.
It was the hardest thing she's ever done.
I believe that.
But she stopped meth afterwards.
I normally don't.
Oh,
It might have made quitting meth seem easy after ripping your own eyeballs out.
sometimes it takes some.
Probably right.
Interesting the things that it takes to stop drugs. Sometimes, like mutilating your own. Okay.
They say you gotta hit bottom. That bottom was super low.
Yeah.
That was so much lower than most people's.
not the lowest, but super low.
But she's not dead.
No,
Right.
which is amazing, actually. But she did
Griff,
not
you got
bleed
any
out.
weirdness over there?
I got nothing.
Oh, could you imagine just dumping alcohol in your eyes afterwards?
I don't know why you
Like
would imagine
sterilize
that.
that?
Why would you imagine that in the first place?
Dude, It's hypothetical,
move
man.
on.
It's a thought piece.
Okay. Well,
You got to think about
I'm
it.
thinking that would be awful. I see what you're doing there. Guys, now I know you. I know you guys well enough to know that you are not fans of this show, but I think it's safe to assume that we all know what The Bachelor is. The show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard about this. I don't.
Ari,
I personally,
that dog.
I personally don't keep up with The Bachelor, but apparently, the last
some
Bachelor
shit.
was from Minnesota, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Good for him.
The Bachelor apparently on
Yeah, the last woman contesting for The Bachelor's Heart was from Minnesota, right?
well, he broke up. Yeah, he broke
Yeah.
up with this woman, I guess, and because of that, people in Minnesota are filing to have. Let's see, is a native. Okay, here we go. After the star of The Bachelor broke up with the season's winner, like Griff said, the woman who is a native of Minnesota, a Minnesota lawmaker wrote a bill banning him, The Bachelor, from the entire state.
Good for Minnesota.
Really though, like over a reality TV show, I
think
you don't
he did-
find that weird at all.
I think he did some. He picked this girl first as his like final win, apparently, and then like changed his mind. It was like, nah.
A
never
Minnesota
mind.
lawmaker
I want that second place girl.
Wow.
authored a bill banning. Would you say Ari?
I think Ari. Yeah.
Ari, The Bachelor, from ever setting foot
He
in the
races
state.
trucks.
Oh, God.
Hmm.
No,
I mean, it's just pure ridiculousness.
this is just government overreach.
It's
Yeah.
just-
Is there like
This is ridiculous.
is there a constitutional basis to banning someone for their performance on The Bachelor? I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
not a lawyer.
it's pure. It's pure
I
ridiculousness.
feel like there's something to it, though.
You think there's a basis
Is
for it?
something there?
No.
He's
no,
feeling it? No.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
What do you got over there?
That is ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know Minnesota's constitution.
Yeah.
Um, Okay.
Get outta here, man.
Okay, here we go. Another one that's kind of dark. Startup offers 100% fatality rate procedure to upload your brain. Would you guys do this?
Well, there is somebody that's doing it though.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you definitely die.
Yes, you definitely die.
No.
No, I mean,
I
who
love
the-
the idea,
no.
but you don't know. Is that a copy of me or is that me?
No, you have no
Like,
idea.
Yeah.
Bro, if I'm like 80 on my deathbed,
Yeah, then I'm
upload me.
Yeah, I
man.
guess. This is Black. You guys watch Black Mirror?
Yeah, Black
like,
Mirror,
this-
for
Black
sure.
Mirror has
Well,
covered
I mean,
this
yes,
shit.
if you have a terminal,
but-
if you're old or you have some kind of terminal disease and sure. But
yeah, but they're saying like they can store it. And then once the technology becomes great enough, they'll fucking plop you in something.
Well, that's
it's
exactly
the idea.
what-
It's the idea that your consciousness is nothing more than a pattern of brainwaves, right?
Yeah.
And if they can upload that pattern,
Well, that's what they're trying to
they
develop.
can move your consciousness. But that's
They haven't developed that yet. This
I'm
is
pr-
storing like I guess just like the ones and zeros
okay.
of your makeup.
It's- they can't.
I don't know.
It can't express itself in any way.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
but
super interesting.
it's
like,
super
really
interesting. But I also think it's more likely like it's like a burnt CD. It's like, oh, it's another one, but it's
Yeah.
not like the same.
No,
so
I'm
if
with
I
you.
die, I still die. Now the rest of the world will get to continue experiencing
Yeah.
Tim Grifford, which is great for the rest of the world.
Lucky them. Lucky them.
But I'm still dead.
Yeah,
So-
right. No, for sure. I'm with you on that, Griff. For sure.
Yeah. So there's these guys are saying within the next 100 years, they're going to be able to digitally recreate your consciousness.
That's
insane.
probably true.
It's insane.
We're getting close to having the computer processing power of the human mind. So
I don't
basically,
like it.
basically once you can do that,
it is. It's interesting but scary. Griff, I can only imagine.
it's raining.
It's raining really hard. I can only imagine how blessed the world would be for you to die, but your consciousness just live on forever.
It'd be
How
great.
blessed would we be?
You guys can get a weekly feed of me forever.
I would have a little fucking Irishman on my shoulder at all times, like,
What
hey,
if Keith? What if there was a way that now, hopefully, knock on wood, that this does not happen. But if if Griff was to pass away in some fashion,
It's gonna happen someday.
no, but like soon. Ish, and this
hold off a
technology
bit.
is developed, and literally all we did was had some kind of way to plug him into this mixer, and it was just
Like,
Griff
you
is
guys
gone,
just-
but his consciousness
you guys
is
said, like-
still stream. We're still be able to stream and conversate with this conscious. Like that would be insane.
You just
How
had
weird
this-
would that be?
It'd
That'd
be
be
very
wild.
weird. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what would
but-
really suck worse though is if that is an actual consciousness though, and you have him like Black Mirror did, like you had him imprisoned in like
Yeah.
some little egg.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that would suck for Tim Grifford Part B.
Yes.
Part 2.
But-
You would not. Yes.
Yeah.
It would not be
I
happy.
mean, we already have the technology. I think he's given us enough hours of audio to just recreate whatever we want.
Oh wow.
Wait,
We
like,
definitely already have the technology.
wait, are you gonna
for
like
that.
Tupac me? Is that what you're saying? Like to make new songs after I'm dead?
Yeah.
With just but that's just my voice and words.
Yeah.
You can't get this mind like
That's
that.
true. That's only you're going here. We're trying to push it.
No,
past.
I know you guys are going next level. I'm saying we can already do this. Like we don't need Tim on the podcast anymore.
Okay.
Guys.
All right. See you, Griff. Next week, just don't show up.
Fine.
It's like cool. I get a
Start-
Friday. I get
start my own
I get my
podcast.
Friday back. No, Keith, this is super interesting, man, and it will be interesting to see what
Yeah.
in going into the future, like this technology, and because I know we all
Sure.
seen that the article about the billionaire who already said like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, well, let's see what happens.
I mean, people like Ray Kurzweil believe, serious futurist dude, that like immortality is going to happen soon. And he's old. He thinks he's going to achieve immortality in his life, and he's like 70. He's wrong.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. Sorry,
but-
bro. You're not.
But he's way smarter than us, guys. Like he's a legit genius. Mensa member like invented.
You saying I'm not a genius?
Ouch. That was quick. That was a
Damn,
quick
that's
answer.
rough,
Yeah.
dude.
Not like this dude. This dude's like
Yeah,
an Elon
well,
Musk type dude.
right.
And he thinks that it's done. But
I think you're a genius.
I think
Thanks.
I think a lot of it just comes out of desperation too that he's saying that.
Oh,
But
I'm
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being like the last dude to die before they
It's-
discover
it would suck.
immortality?
That
You
actually,
wouldn't know.
That actually is one of my biggest fears.
you wouldn't know.
That's
yeah.
What?
You touched on something here.
You would never know.
That we would die
guess it
like
depends what you
just
believe
right
in.
before. No, I don't think we would not personally, but that would
Okay.
just suck anyway.
I mean, yeah,
like,
it's like,
dude, to just miss the cool shit.
and you know what's the worst part about that is you'd forever on all your buddies, you'd be the butt of the joke every single time. Like,
Dude,
well,
not,
the last
he got cancer. What a loser.
it's not.
one before.
Yeah,
It's
what?
not necessarily immortality in general, but just like we live on.
I wouldn't care.
We live in a time where technology is changing and getting awesome so fast that like we would die right before shit just got really fucking cool.
Yeah, no, I
You
hear
know
you. I
that-
hear what you're
okay.
saying.
That to me,
yeah,
and
okay.
immortality is part of that whole thing. But,
Okay.
yeah,
I
You want to
hear
be
you.
a vampire or immortal vampire? It's cool, Griff.
I might already be.
Oh, nothing like those Irish vampires.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they just drink all the time, and throughout centuries, they just all different kinds of liquor. That goes.
That's how the Irish live
They
long.
just stay. That's how they just stay
Yep.
around.
Just permanently drunk.
There's all the time.
Our only weakness is a little bit too much of it. Kills us sometimes, and a lack of potatoes. Don't take away our potatoes. It really fucks us
Yeah,
up.
for real. Okay, guys, listen to this, man. I didn't know this was possible, but apparently, according to the South China Morning Post, reports that
Oh, that's reliable news.
reports that a Shanghai mom has been locked out of her iPhone for the next 47 years due to her 2-year-old son repeatedly entering the wrong passcode. I didn't know this was possible, but apparently,
How long?
47
Well,
years.
here I'll get to this. According to
She's
her,
locked out for 47 years.
well, listen. According to her, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. I might
Seems
be just getting,
excessive.
I might be getting duped right now, but apparently, if you the whole thing is like if you do it like 10 times,
Yeah.
you get locked out. But apparently, if you keep doing it after that, you get
Yeah, it
one.
adds on.
I don't know. I didn't know this thing, but she said that I guess she gave her her son her phone, which I don't know why you would give a 2-year-old your phone ever. I would never do that. But when she got it back, she claims that the iPhone had a notification that said, "iPhone is disabled. Try again in 25 million." It's like 25.1 million minutes,
Oh,
which equates to about 47 years.
That
Yeah.
kid was really trying to get in that phone.
I'm not sure if a 2-year-old can physically do that though. So I don't know. I feel like I'm getting fucked with here.
like
They
how,
can. Dude,
Yeah, they
kids.
can
Kids
I
are.
mean,
poke anything.
I've seen.
how long did
there's
this lady
videos
live to leave her phone with her kid? Like, did he have it for a week? Like, well, there's no way this.
And for the record,
2-year-olds don't have the
I
attention
don't know.
span.
Let me see your phone.
dude,
Let's
no,
see
I
how
think
long it
you're.
takes.
I think everybody with a child right now that's listening is just thinking how wrong you are right now.
Yeah.
That's what you do with kids is you give them the tablet and the phone. That's what they do now. You need an automatic babysitter to make your kids sit still.
Yeah, but
That's what you do.
not long enough to. I don't know what the minute is. Like, if it's 20, you get 20 minutes. 40, you get an hour. Like, I don't know what it is, but
Kid
that
went to-
2-year-old had to have sat there for a long time to get 21
I don't know. How long does
minutes.
it take to just type in a passcode? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Like,
say it
well,
was. I'm gonna say it was in a car, in a long car
wow.
ride.
Yeah, the son had to have been doing it for a long. Like, do 2-year-olds do have the attention span to just keep hammering at it? Maybe.
I'm
I'm thinking
here's what.
so.
But I'm just saying, like, even if you get 1 million, okay, it's a lot. But 21 million, that's a lot.
Yeah,
of
Here's the scenario
attempts, though.
as I'm seeing it.
Okay.
They're in a car, long car drive. Kid strapped into a car seat. Kid going nuts and yada, yada, yada. Mom gives the phone to kid to distract him. Long car drive. Mom's not going to use the phone. She's driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kid's just going at it for like 3 hours on a car drive.
All right. I just feel
She
like a
picks it
2-year-old
up
would throw that thing. Or
and
something. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Fall
Cut you off.
asleep.
I don't know.
maybe fall asleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't know. I don't
either
know
way,
how long each like time you get
That's
it
what I'm saying. It
wrong
might be a
after.
multiplier. Yeah. Right. Right.
I feel like there's a multiplier.
Yeah, that's probably that's probably what it is. But yeah, either way, hopefully this woman gets a new phone because, man,
Well, I think
she'd have to wait for the grandchildren in order to
I
get.
think you can reset it.
Yeah, I mean,
somehow.
Yes, there's a
it's
way.
just something you don't hear about.
But
No.
phone company, phone
We actually did this to
maker, put a top limit on this because like
Yeah,
allowing
yeah.
it to be locked up for 25 years seems
Yeah.
over the top for any situation.
yeah, I feel
can't-
like a week is a very like a week's long enough.
We actually did this to somebody for 6 hours.
6 hours. Okay,
I think so. It was
so not almost 5 decades.
no, it was McVeigh.
Oh,
Somebody locked him out for like
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
a really long period of time. It was funny. I didn't know the phone did that, but yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
This was a long time ago. It's like first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. Teacher reportedly fed puppy to turtle in front of students.
What?
in America.
Yes, in America.
What?
Idaho junior high school teacher is under investigation after he fed a puppy to a snapping turtle in
Oh
front of
my
students.
god! Was the puppy alive? Like, why didn't that puppy kill that turtle though? Oh, snapping turtles are vicious.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
dude.
seen alligator snapping turtles?
Yeah,
Those
no,
one of
those
those,
things will.
man? You don't wanna
Yeah,
fuck
they
with
will.
that.
They will.
They'll take us down.
What? None of the kids thought that was wrong. Like, what do you mean, man? Like, wouldn't
man.
you, if you were in junior high, wouldn't you say something to the
Dude, the
teacher?
superintendent's statement. Okay, Superintendent Mark Gee,
Where was this
or
kid?
G,
Idaho.
says his administration
Fuck.
became aware of a regrettable circumstance involving some of the biological specimens on March 7th.
Oh, is that what he's saying? Interesting. Interesting.
The event occurred
Not
well
wrong.
after students
wrong.
had been dismissed and was not a part of the school-directed program.
You guys are here. That's good to hear. It's not in the curriculum to feed puppies to turtles.
I hope
Good.
not, Idaho.
It's like if I was a
man.
teacher and that was the curriculum, I might,
So he's basically saying, well,
I might raise an issue.
He said, "We emphasize that at no time was the safety of students or staff compromised."
Yo, dude, they're emotional fucking.
yeah, no, yeah,
They're
seriously.
fucked.
Yeah,
It's unclear if the dog was alive or dead. So I don't
oh
know.
my god, that's awful. That's awful.
Yeah, I just thought that was messed up.
No, it is.
That's super messed up. I've heard stories of people who would go get like puppies from like rescue shelters and feed them to snakes,
That is absolutely disgusting.
and that's super fucked up. But to do that in front of a room full of children
as a kind of like a class exhibit almost.
is
Yeah.
just multiple times worse.
Who you hanging out with that feeds puppies to
No,
anything?
no. I don't know these. Let me make it clear. I do not know these
yeah.
people.
I was like,
This is
Jesus, Griff.
Oh,
Somebody,
this is
like,
well known on the streets.
somebody shared some shit online.
Dude, you don't
It's
want to
something
fuck
I
with
saw.
Griff, man. That dude,
Yeah.
he feeds puppies to snakes, bro.
Don't put that out there. No.
You a
I'm
puppy
okay.
killer?
We've put some dark shit out about me and Keith before. I'm drawing the line at killing puppies. We know.
No, listen. We're all three solidly puppy guys. We know this.
Yeah.
That's why this is actually really fucked up because, like Griff said, not only did he do the act,
How
but he
does
did it in
this-
front of an audience of young people, very
Well-
young people.
We don't know if it was in front of an audience.
Oh, we don't know if it was in a classroom.
Well,
He just did it for his own enjoyment. The
the
superintendent.
investigation is still
Yeah, the
ongoing.
superintendent's like, no, but let's just okay. I guess
Biological
we won't make
specimen.
it.
Okay, Jesus.
Okay.
What?
Well, Idaho, man.
Just the way the superintendent explained it. Yeah.
Never know what's going on in Idaho.
Nope.
Okay.
Idaho.
Oh. Yeah, that dude who
Kid.
fed that puppy's the hoe.
Kids
for
on.
sure.
You guys are on fire tonight.
He's on one. Okay. Any other weirdness
You're
before we get
welcome.
out of here?
I got nothing.
Keith,
No,
I'm out too.
no
All
more.
right, so let's get a couple shout outs out of here and then we'll head out. Anybody got shout outs this week?
Yeah, to St. Patrick.
Shout out.
Shouts.
The atheist is shouting at a saint. Okay.
Yeah, he drove the snakes out of Ireland. I don't like snakes. I'll leave it there.
Ooh.
So you believe that
They eat
too.
puppies. You don't like that.
I don't believe it, but I'm doing it. Shout out anyway.
Okay, well, shout outs. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add on that? No?
Puppies are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Keith, what about you? Anything?
Well, shout out to puppies.
For sure, shout out. to puppies.
Shout out to puppies.
Yeah, yeah.
We want to make it clear that we
Yeah.
like,
really
puppies on this
We
podcast.
really like puppies.
Yeah, and shout out to you, the listeners. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Okay.
I'm glad you got to hear me.
Wow. Okay, I would expect that from Griff. Keith, you surprised me this week. For me, first of all, a post shout out to everyone. Like I said in the beginning of the show, I hope you guys had a fun/safe Patty's Day. And also, I want to shout out to we had them on, had Darian on a few weeks ago, or not a few weeks ago, but I guess a month or two ago, from Farfetch to what is a local music collective here in St. Louis. We were super late on it, but we finally got our new prologue. We got the flash drive and some info on some upcoming things down the Farfetch pipeline. We highly suggest you guys hit them up. We are farfetch.net. You can find all the music and the info as far as what we did and get the flash drives and everything we've been bumping and jamming out to the Farfetch crew. So shout out to Darian and the Farfetch family. We're big fans over here. Also, shout out to you guys, as Keith said, for checking in with us. We appreciate you all, and stay tuned. Moving into the year, only nothing but good stuff to come up, and that also means we're very close. 2 weeks away from special episode 85. 85.
Yes.
So we are thinking about what to do. If you have any ideas and suggestions, let us know. You can hit us up on through the email anythingbutcredible@gmail.com, all the social media sites, and the new website anythingbutcredible.com. Don't forget to check us out on or tell a friend. You can get us anywhere, especially Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. For the Android users out there, if you have Android friends, tell them they can still get it too. Google Play, Player FM. There's a bunch of different apps. We should be everywhere. If we're not, let us know. Okay, like we said, we appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you next week. Guys, can somebody throw me a dad joke?
Yeah, I can. Why don't you iron 4-leaf clovers?
Why don't you
Why
iron
not?
4-leaf? Because you rip. I don't know.
You don't want to press your luck.
Oh, I like that.
Happy St. Patrick's
Very
Day.
nice. Happy Patty's Day. I like that. I was gonna say something about ripping the clover off or something.
That's too logical.
Yeah.